What's good, everybody? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn of All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless that is here to give you guys a recap of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 5, Episode 8, entitled Of Mothers and Sons. And the synopsis reads as follows. Ruth faces the terrifying prospect that the truth about her pregnancy will be revealed, and the reconciliation between River and Jerome throws a wrench in Lacey's plans. Now, we're seeing a moment where the highest is anxious. He has his anxiety is at an all-time high, and Ruth is trying to do her best to attempt to verbally calm him down. But then she says, I know something that will actually help. Now, is Ruth offering this man some stuff? But we'll see where Ruth literally decides to take matters into her own hands. She's going to place her hand down the pants of the highest, and she's going to begin to do some emotional stroking. That's all I would say in that matter, you guys. Okay, I'll just say this real quick. This literally threw me off. I did not think that they would give us such a ruthless moment. However, we know that Ruth literally went down in the pants of the highest and began to literally stroke his ego. That's it. That's all. That's all that I can say. Then there's going to be a moment where River is going to walk into the room, and River sees what Ruth is doing, but then he asks the highest, do you want me to come back? And then Ruth also asks, do you want me to stop? And the highest is like, no, keep doing what you're doing. And River, you stay where you are. So River proceeds to let the highest know that there's going to be a sonogram that's going to be taking place for Ruth to find out see the baby. So then we're going to see a moment. Ruth is frazzled by this news, and she leaves the trailer of the highest after the highest is done, of course, but she meets with Zane, and she tells Zane about her problem. Then Zane lets her know that Obadiah has violated her. We're also going to see a moment where we are at the police department or the sheriff department, and Mariah is trying to still get in good with Desiree as well as Cal, but of course they sent her on the way because she has done this story and has posted it all over the internet for the world to see. So Desiree says we got to find a connection between Keys as well as Tyrone Louise Luckett, and they're looking in the files just to try to find something that is going to put two and two together. Of course, I'm going to say something about Cal in a minute, y'all. But back at the table, of course, Zane has not revealed to Lacey that what has happened to her from Obadiah. So Obadiah is just as disgusting as Manny. That's all I will say about that. But anyway, Lacey is telling her, hey girl, I hear River in his room all the time. He has a computer in there. We could get that computer and get the information that we're looking for to access the bank account. So then we're going to see this attorney. I did not trust this attorney when I saw him on the previous episode. I did not trust him not one bit. And unfortunately, Cal allows this attorney to go into the cell of Keys. And unfortunately, this attorney, not only does he go into her cell, but he begins to put his hands around her throat and takes her out. So Keys is no more. She has been taken out. The cartel sent this attorney to, quote unquote, take out Keys, y'all. So again, Keys is no more. Would have loved to have seen a little bit more of Keys. However, that's not the case in this matter. She has gone to that good old cartel in the sky. So then we're going to see River, and he goes to talk to Joan and kind of apologizes to her about everything that has transpired. He's explained to her that I had to do what I had to do. The highest was looking at me to do something different. He wanted me to prove that I was truly with the Raku, and that's what I did. And I'm sorry I almost took you out, but I got your pain meds. And so he says, well, there's a way that we can still work together. We are still a team. So they have recreated their alliance. There's going to be a moment where you guys will get to see where they're going to go back to River's trailer, and they're going to basically handle some business, y'all. But before we get to that, we're going to see Lacey go into that trailer. She is looking for the computer that River normally types a lot of information in. She's attempting to get into that system so that she can basically steal the money that Joan has told her about, using those passwords, using the information that Joan gave her. As y'all can see, she's on that computer and she is literally almost there. Almost there, y'all. And then there is a moment where she gets interrupted. And yes, y'all, she gets interrupted by none other than Joan as well as River. But thankfully, they don't see her. She hides on the side of the bed. So then they basically make another pact that they are going to, change the password. So you can't use the password unless one of the other people is present to be able to access that situation. So then one person has the user ID and the other person has the password. So then we'll see that the cartel, or that Desiree and Cal, finally make the link as to who Keys is affiliated with. And the common denominator, of course, you guys, is Lilo. And so they go and run to Keys' cell to kind of question her. But unfortunately, Keys is literally laid out on the floor. We know that this is what the quote-unquote attorney, this is what he went into the cell to do. Now, we didn't get any credentials. Nobody asked this man for credentials. Nobody asked this man for paperwork, ID, nothing. We just know that he was a quote-unquote attorney. So then we're going to see Andrew, and he's making this big old commotion, saying that he has to use the bathroom, saying he got to take a number 2. And then this little sheriff walks in, and he's like, man, I got to go to the bathroom. I've been asking you to send me, take me to the bathroom. And of course, Sheriff Conley is right there. And he's like, what you want me to do number 2 on him? And so Conley is doing his best along with Andrew to kind of help Andrew get out of this jail. But they don't really want Andrew out the jail because they know that he's responsible for the unalivement of Brian. If not Lynn, but definitely Brian. He's in denial about it. So anyway, this sheriff comes up to the gate or to the jail cell, and he says, oh, I don't know how to, I don't even know how to let you in. And so Conley says, well, you got the keys right there on your belt. Just use the keys so you can take this man to the bathroom. Well, this fool, this idiot, this clown literally falls for it. He goes in, he opens up this jail cell, and Andrew walks out, holds him up, snatches him up, puts him in the cell with Conley, and locks it back up. And before Andrew leaves, he tells Conley that if anything happens to me, please, please, please let my son know that his father was a hero. Yes, it's confirmed that Andrew has 2 sons, y'all. So we think, and so it's confirmed, but Andrew wants Sheriff Conley, if something happens, who's probably going to be locked up as well, but if something happens, let my son know that I was a good guy. I did what I had to do. I fought for you. So anyway, we're going to see the highest, and he has had the magic, where, of course, Daikon was the one that gave him magic, but it looks like the highest got some more magic from somewhere. And so we see where the highest is literally, he's going to be laid out. He's not out. He's not gone. He's not out for the count. He's laid out. Then he wakes up. He's coming to from the high that actually caused him to leave, to go to sleep. And thankfully, Daikon was the one that gave him the shot. But Daikon also got the heck out of Dodge just in case that whole shot situation, just in case that thing didn't work. So anyway, the highest is there. He's washing his face. He's trying to clean himself up, trying to get himself together. And then, you guys, lo and behold, he looks up and looks into that mirror. And what does he see? What does he see? He sees the ghost, y'all. That image, that dark image, that woman that he saw on the previous episode. He is shook, literally. Pearl, that's her name, you guys. Pearl has the highest shook it. That's all I can say. And so, again, he looks up, he sees her, and then he's immediately shook. He falls to the ground. He doesn't know what to do. He turns around because she's not behind him anymore. He's like, basically, what is going on? We know you're hallucinating, highest, because you messing around. You taking these other drugs, but you're not taking your medication. So now he sees her again. He sees her again, and y'all, he is so afraid. He is so afraid that he gets up and he runs to the other side of the room. Like I said, he's looking for her, but physically she's not there, but the images still pop up. He runs over to the other side of the room. He doesn't see anything, and I think he's going to see her reflection again in the mirror. And then that is the moment where the highest is going to basically cower down. He's going to cower down and he's going to see her. It's almost as if she is right there in the flesh, there with a whole new outfit on, whole new cigarette in her mouth, lipstick looking perfect as if she just got dressed. And she is there. And he says, "Get away, you evil birth mother." So your girl Tika Deshawn had it right. This is the birth mother by the name of Pearl, who literally took the highest through hell, y'all. She literally took the highest through it. And even in her unalivement, the highest is still afraid of her. He's so shaken up that he cowers down. He cowers down because he just doesn't want to see her face. The memories of everything that she took him through come back into play, you guys. So then there's a moment where there's a knock on the door. Now, who the heck is at the door at this moment, at this very moment that the highest is literally hallucinating and going through all of the things that he is seeing? And then, like, again, y'all, it's just as if she is right there in the room with him. Again, she said, he's basically, "Get the hell on, birth mother, like, you evil individual, like, get away from me, get away from me." Again, I know I'm reiterating this, you guys, but it shows how much of an effect the birth mother actually had on the highest. And for those of you that want to remember the story or want to be reminded of the story that the highest told Elder Mother about his birth mother, just click on the link in the description. I will make sure you guys check out the video that I did for that. Now, again, knocking at the door continues, and in walks Manny. He says, "Your highest, are you ready to go and meet your son? We have the ultrasound machine ready so that you can hear your son." And in somewhat of a daze, the highest is like, "Okay, all right." You know, he's basically like, "Okay, let's go." But he has to take a moment. He literally has to kind of bring himself to somewhat of a reality so that he, has that image of his mother out of his head, y'all. So then we're going to see Obadiah, the sapist, the sexual assaultist, go and talk to Ruth. He grabs her by the arm. Now, keep in mind, Ruth knows that this man is a dirtbag. So he goes and talks to her, let her know, "Come on, Ruth, you need to go to the infirmary. Your presence is requested to be in the infirmary. Your sonogram is here." And it looked like you would be excited. It looks as if you should be excited about being able to see your baby. However, of course, Ruth is not too excited because Ruth says she's not pregnant. So there's no, she knows that this is a possibility that this may be the end of her life. And she is just she shook it, y'all. Ruth is definitely shook and she is afraid. She does not know if this man is going to be responsible for losing her life. If she's going to lose her life over the lie that she told from all the way in season 2, y'all. She's been pregnant since season 2. So anyway, they make their way into the infirmary. We see Elder Mother there. We see River there as well as the highest. And they tell her basically to take her clothes off or take her robe off so that they can begin the ultrasound moment. Of course, there's a moment of Ruth denying, and saying no. And the only people that should be here is the highest, Elder Mother, Obadiah, and River should not be in the room. But the highest is like, "Ruth, go ahead, get your behind on the table so that we can find out that if there's a baby in there." So listen, y'all, let me tell y'all, this threw me off, but I felt that this was coming when Ruth finally gets on the table The tables have turned for everyone. They have turned for Marva, they have turned for River, and they have turned for Obadiah. But can I say, Elder Mother, she never uses gloves for any situation. I don't know if I would want Elder Mother touching me. I'm just saying. Anyway, I digress, y'all. So when they finally get that fetal heart tone or that ultrasound monitor on her belly, y'all, there's a beep and another beep and another beep. Of course, we hear her heartbeat, but then we see a beep, or we hear the beep and a beep and a beep, y'all. I think y'all girl Ruth is knocked up. I think Ruth is pregnant. She is officially pregnant because Elder Mother Marva is like, oh my. The same way she did when Ruth got that positive pregnancy test, Elder Mother Marva is like, oh my. So y'all, how many of y'all think Ruth might actually be pregnant at this time? She may finally be pregnant. Anyway, you guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in, kicking it with your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. If you're new to my channel, finding your girl for the very first time, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you will receive reminders of new Ruthless content, okay? All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much, and you already know, stay ruthless.